Assalamu alaikum, Islam to all the Moors. All right, y'all, welcome to the free Astro Theology course. I am Dr. Yasapa from Zion Law School. Let's pick it up. So, we're going to continue with Virgo. I don't know if it's too, I just realized it's kind of loud in here. Oh, man. All right, y'all, we're going to pick it up with Virgo. Virgo Paritura in the Devil's Pulpit. I'll just try to do the best I can. So many challenges, unexpected challenges. But let's make it do what it do. We left off on page 131. Or was it 131? No? No, we left off on page 132. Yeah, page 132. So let's begin halfway down the page with the Church of Rome. So the Church of Rome, being 4 times more religious than the Church of England, celebrates 8 annual feasts and our many preparatory feasts. All right, so they celebrate 8 feasts per year, and there are many preparatory fasts, rather, not feasts. They prepare by fasting. Okay? The day before, they fast the day before some of these feasts to make ready for the feast. Okay? To honor this divine lady. Wow. These represent, these respectively are, so we're talking about Virgo, so the Mother Mary, Jesus, Mother Mary. So here are the 8 feasts. Her purification, which is on February 2nd. Her Annunciation, which is on March 25th. Her Visitation, which is on July 2nd. Her Dispensation, which is on January 23rd. Her Commemoration, which is on July 16th. Oh, so that's 5. That's 5. Her Nativity, her Conception, her Assumption. So that's 8. 8 feasts that the Catholics celebrate every year for Mary. And many of them, the Catholics are supposed to fast the day before to prepare for the feast, okay, y'all? Why are these particular festivals kept on these particular days? That's a good question, right? Why did they choose those days for those celebrations? So we have to ask ourselves, since this is Astro Theology class, we should ask ourselves if these dates have something to do with the constellation Virgo. Right? All right. So let's continue. Of the Virgin Mary, it is first to be observed that the epithet added to her name bears no such sense in its primitive application. In other words, virgin, the meaning of virgin in 1857, or whenever he gave this lecture, did not mean what a virgin meant in 1857. In other words, the meaning had changed. So he's talking about connotative linguistics, okay? He's talking about connotative linguistics for social engineering purposes, right? All right. So of the Virgin Mary, it is to be observed or take note, you should know, that the epithet added to her name, that's the Virgin, bears no sense in its primitive application, okay, and its denotative meaning, its original meaning. That's what he's talking about, as modern parlance attaches to it. All right, modern would be 1857 or whatever year he gave that lecture. All right, for though she is repeatedly called a virgin, she is never called a maid. The term virgin being applicable to any virtuous person. Wait. Virgin in its denotative meaning means any virtuous person. Any virtuous person. Either married or single. So a married woman who is virtuous is a virgin, according to the denotative or the original meaning of the word virgin. Either male or female. So a husband could be a virgin. A man could be a virgin, although he's married with 5 babies, with 15 babies. As long as he's what? Virtuous. Any virtuous person, regardless of gender, regardless of being single or married, all they need to do is be virtuous, okay? He continues. The term virgin being applicable to any virgin person, either married or single, and either male or female, except where she herself says, quote unquote, behold, look, right? Behold, the handmaid of the Lord. So Mary calls herself the handmaid of the Lord. Virgin Mary calls herself the handmaid of the Lord. And that God, quote unquote, had regarded the low estate of his handmaiden. All right, so God regarded, or God took note of his this is a hand, right? His handmaiden's low estate, okay? So in order to be low, in order for something to be low, it has to be relative to what? Something that's high. It has to be relative to something that's high. So you're comparing one point to the next point. This point is high, this point is low. Y'all see? All right? So page 133. The celebrated 7th chapter of Isaiah, verse 14. So 7th chapter, that's a 7. And 14 is 2 7s. So that's 3 7s. Universal harmony. 3 times. The celebrated chapter 7 of Isaiah, and 14 is 7 plus 7. So that's 3 7s. 7 is emphasized, okay? It's in a what? A triad, a trinity. Rendered in the Septuagint of the Vatican, and then it's giving the Greek. I don't know how to read the Greek, so I'm not going to pronounce it. I'm not going to even try. But it's there if y'all want to learn or research this. You can see it in the Greek. Let me show it. All right. So here's how that verse reads. Here's how it reads in English. And in our English, quote unquote, behold, a virgin shall conceive and bear a son, and thou shalt call his name Emmanuel. 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 Again, the L is either referencing, hi there, I'm live streaming on YouTube. Okay, so can I see? Wow, I like it. It's very fast?
Yes.
Is it your favorite?
Yes.
Wow, I like your car. Can I see? Oh, thank you. Oh, I like these. I like the sirens. Do you like them? Yes.
This is baby.
She's a baby? Yeah, she's so cute, right?
This is a bag.
Yes, that is a bag. Bye-bye, guys. Okay, y'all. Where were we? Emmanuel. So the L is either referencing the S-U-N sun, which is sometimes referred to as L. When that's remixed in religion, it could be the El pantheon of Canaanite deities, right? It also could reference Saturn. Saturn, the planet Saturn, is also sometimes referred to as El. All right. Hold on. Let's continue. And thou shalt call his name Emmanuel. Now, of course, El is also one of the titles of the Moors of a maxim. All right? So we have the L's, which is in its ancient pronunciation, Il. Il. The Al's, A-L, the Bays, the Days, and the Alis. These are the titles that attach us to the land and identify us as the rightful heir to the Maghrib al-Aqsa, which is northwest of Maxim. All right? Or North America. When made to bear the preposterous sense which the privileged Decepticons, the preposterous sense. Y'all understand what he's saying here? When made, listen, when made to bear the preposterous sense. In other words, when they give it this connotative meaning, which the privileged deceivers of the people put upon it. Who are the privileged deceivers of the people? This would be the priestcraft, the black priesthood, right? The brotherhood of Saturn, right? Also, the worshipers of Zoroaster. What is the name of the prince that they worship? Hold on. Oh, here it is. I turned right to it. So these are the ones who practice the black magic, the black art. Okay, in honor of which its priests and preachers to this day wear black gowns and black dresses. So these, you might think about magistrates, right? Magistrates. The very livery, the very clothing, the very livery itself of their divine master, the Black Prince. The Black Prince. As you may see, dissecting the word gospel into its radicals, that is God's spell, the spell, charm or magical incantation. So JC is called the Prince of Peace, right? So when we look at this in nature, let's look at the summer months. Let's say spring, winter, and summer before winter hits. So that's the kingdom of God in astrotheology. These are the summer months, right? Where there's 12 hours of daylight beginning in the spring, and then that 12 hours increases until it reaches its maximum on June 21, 22, which is the summer solstice. And then it begins to decline. It begins to decline all the way back to what? 12 hours when it gets to the fall equinox, which is September 21, September 22nd. So that's the kingdom of the heavens, right? So this is when what? The Prince of Peace, or you can say the Prince of Light, reigns. But the Black Prince reigns in the winter months, when the nighttime hours go from 12, remember at the equinoxes, it's 12 hours of daylight, 12 hours of night. But as the sun descends south, the number of nighttime hours increases. All right? So the darkness on the earth, the blackness on the earth increases until it reaches its maximum on December 21, 22, which is the winter solstice. And then the sun begins to ascend all the way up until the vernal equinox, when it's 12 hours of daylight and 12 hours of night again. So when the sun is in the south part of space, that's when the Prince of Darkness is ruling. In other words, the nights are longer than the days. Okay? Now that's been remixed into a religious doctrine, a secret religious doctrine. All right? And this involves Zoroaster. Let me continue. I'm on page 36. See, there's that 3 and 6 again. Y'all think that's a coincidence? 3 plus 6 is 9, right? And then a 6 and a 9 are all, 6 and 9 represent 3. Okay, y'all? And 3 is the first perfect number. And that's coming out of, you can get that out of the Gospel and the Zodiac by the Reverend Bill Darlison. You'll get that. All right, second paragraph. The founders of this dark science, or black art, are universally admitted to have been these magi. Magi, magistrates, magi, the 3 magi in the story about Jesus' birth in the barn, okay, or in the stall. And our Christian antiquaries, Christian historians, are proud to quote the celebrated passage from the Zenda Vesta of the Persian Zoroaster, which is so fun, so strikingly coincident with the pretended visit of these Eastern Magi to the stable of Bethlehem. In other words, they plagiarized the story about the 3 Magi going to the stable in Bethlehem. That actually comes from the story about the Persian deity Zoroaster. All right, so I'm gonna leave it at that. Oh, no. Last paragraph on page 36. The Apostolic Father Ignatius, Bishop of Antioch, in the 4th of his epistle to the Ephesians, after admitting, quote, the virginity of Mary and he who was born from her, as also the story of his death, were the subjects of this black art or hidden science, and done in secret by capital God. Here it is here. So y'all please read that. This last paragraph here. Sorry y'all, I don't see it the way y'all see it. It's reversed for me. But it's this paragraph, okay? This last paragraph. Hope y'all can read that. So this whole notion of JC, of the Mother Mary, the Virgin Mary, and her son's birth and his death, as it says here, were the subjects of this black art, of this black magic. In other words, it's pagan in origin. It's pagan. The Catholics, the Christians, they just copied it. And then they lied to you. They've lied to the world and said that they have an original religion and that everything else is pagan worship and of the devil. So if they said it's of the devil, then that means Christianity is of the devil, right? It is what it is. That's where it comes from. If Persian Zoroastrianism is of the devil, and this notion of Virgin Mary being conceiving a child, and then that child suffering and dying, if that was lifted, plagiarized right out of the Persian Zoroaster story, then obviously it itself is also pagan and of the devil. Right, y'all? I mean, that's not difficult to, that's not complicated logic at all. Okay, so let's go back to Virgo Paritura. Okay, so now let's do it again. When made to bear the preposterous sense, which that privileged deceivers of the people, those worshippers of Zoroaster, these black magic practicing priests who worship the Black Prince, all right, they gave this whole thing a meaning, as the author says, that was deceitful. And he goes on, he says, is only one among 10,000 instances of the egregious ignorance or wicked fraud. Wicked fraud means intentional. Intentional fraud. So the Christians said that they brought in what? A new covenant, a new contract. So that contract is void from the beginning, void ab initio. Void from the beginning due to what? Due to fraud. the entire basis of that contract. The Virgin Mary, first of all, she's a virgin. Never been kissed, never been touched. She conceives a baby born from the Father, God. And then this baby comes out, it is the Messiah, and suffers an excruciating death on the torture, on the cross or torture stake, whatever your religion is, to pay for your sins, to redeem you, so that you can go to heaven, or so you can have everlasting life on earth. That whole notion right there is fraud. So therefore, you don't have anything to worry about if you're a Christian. You don't have to worry about what God is going to do to you, because you've been lied to. The new covenant means new contract, and it's void from the start due to fraud. What does it mean? It means they don't have any jurisdiction over you, right? The Christian church, the Christian ecclesiastical body, and whatever church you're in, they don't have any authority over you. All you have to do is what? If you're a Moor, you declare your nationality, and then you terminate any contracts you have with the de facto U.S., state of this, state of that, county, municipal, like marriage license, right? Driver's license, any type of licenses, you terminate them or reserve your rights and live within those contracts. And you get out of that ecclesiastical, feudalistic, corporate body politic that you're in right now. There's another term for it. It's called social, body social. Yeah, body social. And you can get out of that, right? If you want to, if you are a Moor. Because you have to remember, this whole thing is religious. The Catholic Church, through Unum Sanctum, made a claim on all lands. Y'all know land means more. All lands and all wombs. Everything about you. They made a claim on the basis of the story about Jesus being the Messiah, and he left the Pope in charge to manage everything until he came back. Hence, the Pope is called the Vicar of Christ. So they have jurisdiction over you. That whole thing is a fraud. And to give you peace of mind to walk away if you know that. You don't have to worry about, am I going to die forever? Am I going to burn in hell? The whole thing is a fraud. I remember in the religious organization I came up in for decades, people would stress out. I met people who lost their minds. They went crazy. Families broke up. Friendships were destroyed. Well, families were destroyed. And a lot of it had to do with this issue of if you do something that their deity doesn't like, or you're accused of potentially committing an unforgivable sin, some people would go lose their mind over that. Worried to death, afraid. And actually, I think with my experience with that, I think that they intentionally put people in that frame of mind. I really do. I think they intentionally tried to scare people. Try to make people lose their mind, especially those people who knew about some wrongdoing and they didn't want it to know, or they wanted to discredit that person. I really think they did that. I really, really do. Try to drive the person crazy. But looking like they're innocent. Y'all see what I'm saying? Dirty people. Dirty. Okay, let's continue. All right, so anyway, so it's either egregious ignorance or wicked fraud, of which they dare stand in controversy before us. In other words, let me keep going. They would stand convicted. In other words, the author is saying if they stood before him, and him being an expert in astrotheology, him, the author, the Reverend Robert Taylor, having ascended through all of from the bottom to the top of Freemasonry, and learning everything there is to know about astrotheology within Freemasonry and other I don't remember if it was other secret societies, but within Freemasonry, having access to all of the secret documents that only 3 people had in the world, according to this author. He said if they stood before him, they would be convicted because he knows what's happening. He knows what the truth is, what the reality is. All right? They wouldn't be able to get that fraud over on him. So they would stand convicted. The word which should signify a virgin in their sense of it, so that the connotative meaning of the word virgin, when the Reverend Robert Taylor gave this meaning, not being, and he shows a word written in biblical Hebrew characters. I'm going to show y'all this, which is the word here used, but, and then he shows another one. So I circled them. See, these are biblical Hebrew characters. Look at the circled words. There's no dots and dashes. So this is biblical Hebrew words. All right? No dots and dashes. So these are supposed to be the ancient biblical Hebrew words. All right? But of course, they just made these these letters are called pictographs. All right? So they're called pictographs. They made them up. They made them up. So the actual pictographs are the pictographs that I teach and I show in the 101 Ancient Ibaryath class and in my books. So those are the actual pictographs. These are made up. Just made them up. And here's the funny thing. Well, here's the tragedy. They made up these pictographs, called it Ancient Hebrew, and then they made up what's called the Nakud system, a system of dots and dashes that tell you vowel sounds and the part of speech of a word, all right, and other functions too, the grammar rules. And they made up their own grammar rules, and then based upon all of that, they made up their own stories. Yeah, they added to it, made up their own stories. And then they have the nerve to tell you, well, you don't know anything because you don't speak Hebrew. And they have these stupid black preachers and pastors, and rabbis who don't have common sense enough, or who don't have enough self-respect and dignity to get behind a man like me and support my project to correct the book of the law, to write it in the ancient Ibaryath and remove all of the lies they put in it. Remove it. I can do it. I got the skill set to do it. I've been doing this for years. But the Hebrew Israelites, they don't want nothing to do with me. They won't mention my name. But yet, one of the Khazars, let's call him modern, one of the modern Jews, will turn around and tell you, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't speak Hebrew. How can you tell me you don't speak Hebrew? Y'all see how, but yet these Hebrew Israelites and Christians claim, they make the claim that the Old and New Testament are their records. But they don't have enough self-respect and dignity to produce those records in their language. So what kind of fool are you? What kind of lazy, bum, ignorant nigga are you? Oh, you know, the Hebrew Israelites, and I'm just disgusted with them. I kind of understand the Christians, you know, but the Hebrew Israelites, see, it's one thing when you profess to be an expert and a scholar. And you're cussing people out on the street. But when it comes to taking action, you're just a boy in a man's body. That's right, you're a boy in a man's body. You won't help yourself. You won't help your people. You're useless. You're like a bump on a log. But anyway, let's keep it going. Page 133. So we're talking about these two Hebrew words. So the author says here that the connotative meaning of the word virgin and their sense of it, and then he shows it in the biblical Hebrew, which is the word here used, but, and then he gives us a second word, and the spelling of the word is different. All right, so these are two separate words. Let's go to the next paragraph. But the word blessed, added to the name of virgin, itself interrupts that word. Interprets. But the word blessed, added to the name virgin, itself interprets that word and excludes the notion of barrenness. So, barrenness, blessed. So what are we talking about? We're talking about offspring, a new generation, fruit or babies, right? Let's continue. Which the word virgin alone, in the sense which it bears in the translation, okay? So in the translation, virgin alone. But in the original sense, so we're dealing with, the original would be the denotative meaning of the word virgin, right? Might seem to carry. And this, the more especially, as the blessedness predicated of this virgin is the peculiar blessedness of fruitfulness and abundance. So the blessed has to do with fruitfulness and abundance, and signifies the overflowing or that quantity over and above in exactly full measure. So in other words, if I have this glass, let's say I fill it up with ice. The ice would be above the rim. Okay? In that sense, that's the sense that is meant by abundance. It's overflowing more than the glass can hold. All right? And signifies the overflowing or that quantity over and above full measure. The full measure filled up and pressed down and running over, or the handful thrown into the bargain. Now I like the way he said that, because in Vietnam I've experienced that. Like you buy something, okay, and if the seller likes you or they want you to come back, they'll give you extra. They'll put some extra on top of it. So I can really relate to this. I can really relate to that. So here's a sense of abundance. Imagine if I have flour and I put flour in the glass and then I press the flour down and I keep pressing it. In other words, I press all the air out. And then I keep adding flour onto the top until there's no more flour that can stay on top. All right? So that's the fruitfulness, the abundance, the overflowing. This has nothing to do yet. And I can assure you that it doesn't. It has nothing to do with never being touched sexually. It continues. These people, she's just yelling in the restaurant. She's yelling at someone across the room. Low class. Very low class. I'm sorry, y'all. I lost my place. Where am I? Okay, all right. So as Elizabeth, when full of the Holy Ghost, explain it, it sends in these words, quote unquote, blessed art thou among women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb. That is, or that means, not the son or daughter, but most literally the fruit, that is, the apples, the pears, the plums, the grapes, the peaches, but more especially all sorts of corn and wheat, for the abundance of which bestowed on man by this particular virgin, all generations shall call her the blessed or fruitful virgin. So we see that Virgo has in one hand a stalk of corn, and then the other one, what is it, wheat? A stalk of corn and wheat? I don't remember. But anyway, I wish this lady would just stop following us. It was trifling. My phone is officially broken. I'm so frustrated. Hold on, y'all. I'm trying to find a different way to sit. You know, the worst part about it is this woman is in her 40s behaving like that. At least in her 40s. Oh, man. So my phone is broken. I can't book a taxi. I don't know how I'm going to get home. All right, y'all, let's keep going. As her husband Joseph, wait a minute. So Mary is married to Joseph. Well, how does this play out astrologically? As her husband Joseph, who had nothing to do with the production of the fruit of harvest or of the harvest month, was yet appointed to preside over that month, and was rather a husbandman than a husband. Oh, wait a minute. Wait. Joseph was a husbandman and not a husband. How much y'all want to bet? How much y'all want to bet she is single? How much you want to bet she's single? And if she's not single, she's about to be single. I don't know. You know what, women, you ladies, there's not too many things as unattractive and repulsive as a woman who yells and screams, especially in a public place. No man would want to be with a woman like that, trust me. Okay, so Joseph is a husbandman, not a husband. So what's a husbandman? What's a husbandman? As Joseph is expressly worshipped in those words of the Holy Catholic Church. Wow, did y'all know Joseph was worshipped? Quote unquote, all hail, honor of the patriarchs, steward of the holy house of God, who has consecrated the bread of life, who has conserved the bread of life and the wheat of the elect. Bread is made from wheat or corn, right? When I grew up, we grew up eating cornbread, made from cornmeal. And then regular bread made from wheat, right? Which, if it led us not into temptation to suspect what particular virgin it was, whose greatest festival is celebrated on the 15th of August, who presides over wheat and corn. Y'all see it? 15th of August is the Virgin Mary's Assumption. The Virgin Mary's Assumption. So let's continue. So Virgo presides over wheat and corn, right? Virgo presides over wheat and corn, August. In fact, Barley and wheat is the first harvest, I think. Is the harvest in August. But anyway, let's continue. And who is the particular handmaid of the Lord? So, who is the handmaid of the Lord? We have never contemplated the constellation Virgo with her extended arm, right? Her extended arm. In which is the bright star Bindi Matrix, holding in her hand an ear of corn called Spica Virginis. The stars which constitute her head being scarcely visible with the naked eye. The figure is chiefly to be made out by those stars which go to the making of her hand. Y'all see that? So when you look at the constellation Virgo in the sky, the stars that make up her hand, you can barely see them. They're barely visible with the naked eye. But you can see the Bindi Matrix, which is a star in her hand. All right? So Virgo is chiefly to be distinguished by those stars that make up the hand or her hand, which give Virgo the distinction of being not the foot or the leg or the head, but the handmaid of the Lord. That is the maid with the hand. So the handmaiden actually means the maid with the hand, where the Bindi Matrix is. And you recognize Virgo by the Bindi Matrix. Okay? All right. All right, so let's do it again. We have never contemplated the constellation Virgo with her extended arm, in which is the constellation Bindi Matrix. All right? All right. So the handmaiden, the star with the hand, and in the arm, rather, y'all, in the arm you see the Bindi Matrix. So let me show y'all. There's not a good, oh, wait, let me see. You know, y'all, it's being in Asia, I'm gonna tell y'all, being in Asia, it's shocking when you see a woman behave like that. Most women are, at least superficially, most women superficially are meek. They're gonna, like they say, keep quiet, most women. They're not gonna talk loud, yell and scream. But this one, yeah. I bet you her husband has a lot of regret. But I don't think she has a husband behaving like that. You know, in Asia, women can't do the things that they do in North America. Because these people fight. If y'all know what I mean. That's the truth. This one guy told me that if a husband and a wife, they actually fight, like fist fight. He told me that if a woman calls the police on her husband because they had a fight, the police will take the husband's side. So women who don't want to be in that situation, once they get divorced, they don't get married again. And I know because I talk to people, and they'll tell me they don't want to get married again because of the fighting. So I'm looking for she really getting on my nerves. Usually people don't irritate me. Maybe I'm in a bad mood already. Because I don't know how I'm going to get home now. My phone is broken. I don't know how I'm going to get it fixed. I don't want to buy a new phone because then I'll lose all my files. I'll lose all my files and numbers and everything, you know. But this woman is getting on my last nerve. Usually I'm easy going, real easy to get along, real chill kind of person. But she is really working my nerves. I wish she'd just shut up. Here's the serpent woman, finally. Y'all see? See serpent woman? Y'all see it? This is what I was looking for. Well, this is one piece. One piece of what I was looking for. So let's look at this this illustration. This figure of the Egyptian Isis and Horus. So that's the mother's son, right? That's Virgo and her son. The universal mother or generator, or serpent woman, or nature fecundated. Remember, fecundated is to make something highly fertile. All right? Or nature fecundated by the sun and moon, or Ra and Mut. All right? So the earth made highly fertile by the sun and the moon. Okay? By the S-U-N sun or moon, which is Ra and Mut. It says here, perverted to represent at present the Virgin Mary and infant son. Perverted to represent the Virgin Mary and infant son. Is also the woman of Revelation, chapter 12. So this is also the woman of Revelation, chapter 12. This found that Dendera, previous to the reign of the first Caesar. So that's obvious. I don't need to say anything. And used symbolically at that time. Copied by Carl Anderson from Reverend W. Jenks, commentary of 1838. Y'all take a look at this. So y'all pause the video, okay? On the replay, pause it and read it. Okay, y'all? So, now I remember something else too. Hey y'all, let me tell you something. I've been away from home so long that I have adjusted. I've adjusted to life in Asia, and hold on. Give me a second. I'm gonna share with y'all what I'm thinking if I find it. When I find it. Looking for Venus. I know nobody want her. Sorry, y'all. I'm curious, so y'all gonna have to bear with me, okay? It's times like this I have to remember that I'm a guest in Vietnam. Alright, y'all. I'm looking for Venus. I know where to find the information I want, but I don't remember what page it's on now. I need to find Venus to be able to finish what I was sharing with y'all about the serpent woman. Why did it come to me? I'm gonna let it go. Yeah, I'm gonna let it go for now. All right, y'all, let's keep it going. Where am I? Okay, so page 134. Next paragraph. But why was her name Mary? Now, this is interesting. Why was her name Mary? It is precisely the same as the name Miriam. So Miriam and Miriam are the same names, okay? Miriam, that's the sister of Moses, y'all. Miriam is the sister of Moses and Aaron. And literally signifies myrrh, or Myr, M-Y-R-R-H, of the sea. Y'all got that? Or lady, or mistress of the sea. Now, y'all, what is a mistress? What is a mistress? I know in Philippines, I think in Philippines, maybe Thailand too, a woman will tell you she doesn't want to be a mistress. A mistress is what, y'all? A whore, right? The man has a wife and his side piece. They see the side piece as being a whore. So the whore of the sea, S-E-A. The whore of the sea. Now, how can a woman live in a sea? How can a woman live in the ocean? Well, y'all should think the Raphaim, the descendants of the Nephilim. The descendants of the Nephilim, the Raphaim, when they expire in the physical body, they go where? They go to the land underneath the sea. This is where you see Annie's. I'm glad she has gone. I hope she don't come back. She walked out the door. Okay, so Annie's. Man from the head to the belly button. And a fish below the belly button. Oh, she's coming back. Dang. And a fish below the belly button. So this is called a what? A mermaid. A mermaid. So that's a hybrid. So Mary, JC's mother, is a hybrid. In other words, not an original life form, but a hybrid. So the hybrid has to be what? Well, like I said, it's a Raphaim. All right, the Raphaim. Who are, again, the Nephilim. And everybody knows the origin of the Nephilim. We don't have to go into that. So wait a minute, if Jesus' mama was a Nephilim or a Raphaim, what does that make Jesus? What does that make Jesus? Also a what? Raphaim. Now this is the story that's being told to us when we look at this from a literal meaning, from a literal point of view rather. All right, y'all? All right, so let's go back to this. Mir of the sea, or lady, or mistress of the sea. Lady of the sea, that sounds like lady of the night, right? Mistress of the sea. Raphaim. It is precisely the same as Smyrna. Smyrna, the name of the sixth of the seven churches which are in Asia, addressed by Christ in the Revelation, and which I, the Reverend Robert Taylor, have demonstrated to be none other than the seven golden candlesticks, that is, the seven constellations. The ram, Aries, the bull, Taurus, the twins, Gemini, the crab, Cancer, and the lion, Leo. The virgin, which is Virgo, and the balance, which is Libra, or Libra, respectively, of March 21, 22, that's Aries the ram, okay? April, May, June, July, August, and September. What is that? The kingdom of what? The kingdom of God, the kingdom of the heavens, the Prince of Peace, the Prince of Light reigns from the spring all the way to the end of the summer months, which is going to be what? September 22nd. I have demonstrated to be, these are the seven candlesticks in the book of Revelation. All right, or those zodiac signs, okay? Now let's continue. In the midst of which, in the middle of which, the Eschuan sun walked in its annual course through the summer months, or reign of the kingdom of heaven. So here we are, this paragraph, right here. Y'all can pause this on the replay, all right? So Jesus himself said, I am the way, the truth, and the light. If anybody wants to go to the Father, he must come through me. I am the way, the truth, and the light. If anybody wants to come to the Father, they must come through me. All right? So Jesus is the light, and of course, the Prince of Darkness is what? The southern hemisphere. The orientation is the west. So when the sun crosses below the fall equinox, now we're what? We're into the reign of the Prince of Darkness, where the nighttime hours are more than the daytime hours, right? All the way until when? All the way up until the Passover. March 21, March 22. Did y'all see that? So that's the kingdom of the heavens that your pastor and general has lied to you about. You know, when you die, you're going to go to heaven? No, that's not true at all. The kingdom of the heavens is only or simply when the sun is reigning, when the days are longer than the nights. From March 21, 22 to September 21, 22. That's the kingdom of heaven. So let's continue. It is none other than the very name of Mirha. Mirha. M-Y-R-R-H-A. M-Y-R-R-H-A. It is none other than the very name Myra, M-Y-R-R-H-A, the mother of the beautiful Adonis. Whoa, that's deep. Wait a minute. Do y'all know the significance of Adonis? I wish my phone is broken. I can't show you. Y'all know Adonis? Adonis, Adonai, Jehovah. Strong's number 3068. This is where they get the vowels from that they insert into the tetragrammaton. And they tell you that the divine name is too holy to pronounce. So they'll only say Adonai. I'm talking about the modern Jewish people. But now we see where this Adonai is coming from. It's coming from the mythological story of Myra and her beautiful son Adonis. Well, let's continue. It is none other than the very name Myra, M-Y-R-R-H-A, the mother of the beautiful Adonis, A-D-O-N-I-S, in the pagan mythology. As you will find that very name of Adonis to this day in 1857, or whenever he gave this lecture, given by the Jews to their supreme god Yahu, Y-A-H-U, and by our Catholic brethren to their supreme God, Jesus Christ, as in their antiphon rather, for the 18th of December. Let me show y'all. All you need to do is look up Hebrew Strong's number 3068 in your Strong's lexicon, and you will be able to understand, or you can get more details about this. Okay, y'all? They hide this from y'all. They hide it. But you can also go to, I think it's Strong's number 113 and 111. So it's going to tell you that it's either Adon or Adonai. I think it's Adonai. Strong's number 110. Maybe 110. It's going to tell you that Adonai, when it has reference to a man, means master or husband or something like that. But when it has reference to deity, it means Yahweh, Jehovah, Yahu, however you want to pronounce it. Yeah. Yes? You want to say hello? Where's your toy? You want your toy? Oh, go get your toy. It's a cute little kid. Okay, y'all? Is it clear? Is it clear? So why is this important? Because Adonai means Yahoo, Yahweh, Jehovah, Yahuwah, all of that. Now you need to look that up. Wow. Is it fast? Wow. Take a look. Can I show it? Can I show it?
In the yellow.
The yellow? You guys see that? Wow. That's so cool. I like it. Let me see your other one. Oh, wow. He has sirens. I like those.
It's a bus.
A bus? Oh, I like your bus.
It's open the door.
Let me see. Oh, the door opens. It's so cool. Yeah, I like that. It's so cool. Wow. Can I show it? Wow, look at his toy. Amazing. It's so cool. I like them. Thank you. Bye-bye. Okay, so Strong's 1180, Hebrews 1180 will tell you that, and this is, it will tell you that Yahoo, Yahweh, Jehovah is a symbolic name for the deity Baali. Check it. Check it. Yahweh, Jehovah, is a symbolical name for Baali. For Baali. The deity, not the man, the deity. Okay, y'all? And of course, Baali is the zodiac sign Taurus. It's a remix from nature, from the constellation we call Taurus. All right? So let's continue. And then he says here, he says, and by our Catholic brethren, to their supreme God, Jesus Christ, as their antiphon for the 18th of September. So we'll get to that later, okay, y'all? Quote unquote, O Adonai, and leader of the house of Israel, come and redeem us with an outstretched arm. Come, redeem us with an outstretched arm. Well, the Bindi matrix is in Virgo's arm. Hey there. The little boy, he wants to play. Okay? Virgo, the handmaiden, whose head is barely visible with the naked eye, but whom you can recognize the constellation Virgo from the Bindi matrix in her outstretched arm. Quote unquote, O Adonai, Adonis, the beautiful son of Myra. O Adonai, and leader of the house of Israel. So you cannot deny that. Come and redeem us with an outstretched arm. Now you know what with the outstretched arm means. Y'all thought it was some poetic stuff, right? No, it's a reference to astrotheology. It is a reference to Bindi matrix, which is Virgo. The story of Myra In the 10th book of Ovid, introducing the character of the old woman, Anna, the prophetess of Luke's gospel, the mother of the Virgin of He, Catholic, the nurse of the Virgin of the pagan mythology, aiding and abetting the allegorical incest. The allegorical incest is not real incest, it's allegorical incest, by which the Virgin of the Zodiac is alternatively represented as the daughter, the wife, and the mother of the sun sun. Y'all see why that's incestuous? Virgo is represented as the daughter of the sun, the wife of the sun, and the mother of the sun. So it has to be allegorical, right? But it's incestuous. Allegorical incest. Y'all see it? I'm on page 135. Of all which natural allegories, so clear, so beautiful, and so instructive in their physical and philosophical interpretation, the clergy, whose great aim in all ages, but never so much as at the present day, has kept mankind in ignorance, have founded their monstrous mysteries of a conception by the Holy Ghost, a birth by the Virgin Mary, a Theotokos, a Diapera, a mother of God. So Theotokos is mother of God. Diapera is mother of God, a wife of her own father. This is the allegorical incest. A wife of her own father. A daughter of her own husband. A sister of her own son and mother of her own brother. This is the allegorical incest that the author spoke about earlier. And all those hideous spiracies would serve to show to what depth of degradation. Are you leaving? Nice to meet you too. Bye-bye. See you next time. He said, nice to meet you, teacher. Bye-bye. Have fun. They have a they have a lot of respect for teachers in Vietnam. Teachers are at the top in terms of respect. At least the foreign teachers. I don't know about the Vietnamese teachers, but for us, you know, the foreigners. And the parent, the little boy, his parents spend big money to teach him English, to have him go to school to learn English. They spend a lot of money to learn English in Vietnam. I'm talking about huge money. So let's continue. So I want y'all to keep in mind that the Virgin Mary is referred to as the Theotokos and Diaspora. All right? Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Where was I? And all of those hideous spiracies which serve to show what a depth of degradation the human intellect may be reduced when once left to no more learning than the priest will provide for it. What is this saying? What is it saying? If all you know is religious doctrine, you, as a result of that, will be morally degraded. You will be intellectually degraded. Why? Because as they say in computer science, garbage in, garbage out. Y'all be honest. Look at the religious people. Look how morally debased they are in religion. Think about that. Think about how morally debased they are. Y'all see my point? All right, now the facts are the facts. You look at what happens in all of these religions, from the pedophilia, the homosexuality, the what they call adultery, right? The power games they play, the greed, the ruthlessness. None of this stuff is secret. Everybody knows that they are morally debased in religion. Let's keep it going. But the author's point that I want y'all to keep in mind, it says that the priesthood, the goal of the priesthood to the present day has been to keep mankind in ignorance. In ignorance of what? In ignorance of what? Well, people go to school, preschool, Head Start, K through 12. They go get an associate's degree, bachelor's degree, technical certificates, right? They get a master's degree, they get a PhD, they get a professional degree, dentistry, law, medicine, and they do subspecialties all over the world. So what is the author talking about? They keep the people ignorant about nature. That's what he's talking about. The priests want to keep you ignorant about nature. Because with nature, you can build things. You can become free. You realize that you don't need anybody in terms of telling you what to do and when you can do it. You don't need a license. You got birthrights. You got rights that you acquired from your bloodline. What do I need you for? I don't need a driver's license. You know, I ascended to the earth plane with the right to travel any which way I please. So on and so forth, right? I can learn, I can teach my heirs, I don't need you. I'm talking about a big brother figure. So in other words, when you don't know nature, when you don't know natural law, you don't know who you are. I lost my thought. She started yelling again and I lost my thought. But anyway, let's just go to the next paragraph. The word Mary is, as everyone knows, the same as the Latin word mare, M-A-R-E, the sea. Oh, the word mare, the sea, is the same as Mary. They're synonyms. So Mary means the sea, S-E-A. Wait a minute, what about the Pope's Holy See? S-E-E, homonyms. Wait a minute, see. The law of the sea, maritime admiralty law. The Pope gets his authority from the Holy See. Y'all see it? Mary is a Raphael, mermaid. And in its plural form, so the plural form of Mary, the plural form of Mare, M-A-R-E, is Maria. Who knew? Who knew that Maria is the plural form of Mary and Mar, M-A-R-E. Okay? And in its plural form, Maria, pronounced Maria, signifies the seas, more than one ocean. As the adjective marina, of or pertaining to the sea, the ocean. Read without the letter N, after the ancient manner of writing, is the same word and was from the days of infinitely remote antiquity one of the names of the goddess Venus. The goddess Venus. We're talking about mythology, right? The goddess Venus. The marine Venus. The marine Venus, as she was called by the Romans. Romans is an antigram of more. So you can say higher self and lower self. Lower self Moors. The marine Venus, as she was called by the Romans. The Venus Anadyomene of the Greeks. That is Venus rising. Now we're getting somewhere. Venus rising out of the sea. Venus rising out of the sea. Well, wait a minute, y'all. Wait a minute. Mary, page 134. But why was her name Mary? It was precisely the same as the name Miriam, the sister of Moses and Aaron. Go back to page 135. The Venus Anadyomene of the Greeks, that is, Venus rising out of the sea, that is precisely the character of Miriam, the sister of Moses and Aaron, at the moment of their leading up the children of Israel out of the Red Sea. When she sang that beautiful allegorical song, upon the moment of her foot standing on the horizon. Or shore of the mighty deep. Y'all, is this all coincidence? Is this too much to be coincidence? You decide. You decide. Use your own intelligence, your own critical thinking mind to decide if this is all just coincidence. And here's that song. Here's the allegorical song, quote unquote. Sing ye to the Lord, for he has triumphed gloriously. The horse and his rider, keep that in mind, the horse and his rider, that would be Sagittarius. Astrologically, that would be Pharaoh in the biblical story about Moses and Aaron. The horse and his rider hath he thrown into the sea. At that moment, when the Spica Virginis is at the horizon, the star Pollux is at the meridian. So, oh, she's irritating me so much. Hold on now. Okay, I'll tell y'all something that I've observed about Vietnamese culture. When there's a bunch of women, middle-aged women together, it means they don't have a man, they don't have a husband. In Asia, they get married early, and typically the woman is very family oriented. Typically, and the couples will usually stay together, whether they like each other or love each other or not. They typically stay together, right? But when you see, from what I've observed, from talking to people like that, those women become single. Their husbands leave them. And then the women have told me that they don't want to get back into another marriage because they don't want the fighting. So I'm thinking thoughts that are not good about this table of people next to me. Anyway, y'all, let me try to get through this. At that moment, so here's what's happening. Here's the image. Moses and Aaron led the Israelites through the Red Sea. Miriam has her foot on the shore, on the seashore, on the beach. This is the horizon, on the beach. And they're coming out of the water as a nation, okay? So at that moment that I just described, when Spica Virginis is at the horizon, Miriam is on the beach. The star Pollux is at the meridian. So the meridian would be, if this is the summer solstice, this would be the meridian, okay? And her company, and the star Pollux is at the meridian, and Sagittarius, remember the horse and his rider? And Sagittarius, the horse and his rider, who is the Pharaoh of the Old Testament, and Saul or Paul of the New Testament, directly pursuing Miriam and her company. All right, so Pharaoh and his army are chasing the Israelites through the Red Sea, right, trying to catch them. Okay? So Sagittarius is at the bottom of the sea. Okay? So let's go through it again. Try to get this image in your mind. So Miriam is at the horizon. The horizon is the beach. Miriam is standing at the beach. The rest of the Israelites are coming through the Red Sea. So the star Pollux is at the meridian. Okay? So it's above. The star Pollux is above, and Sagittarius is at the bottom of the sheet. Okay? So Pollux above, Sagittarius is below, and then Miriam is at the horizon. Okay, y'all see it? And this victory And this victory of the Lord over Pharaoh is expressly declared to have been achieved with an outstretched arm. That's the arm of Virgo with the Bindi matrix, right? So Spica Virginis is also Virgo, right? Let me clarify. So if you go back to page 134, it says, with her, that's Virgo, with her arm extended, in which is the constellation. So Virgo, with her arm extended, in which is the bright star Bindi matrix, holding in her hand the ear of corn called Spica Virginis. Okay? All right. And look ye here, sirs, by heaven, if here is not the stretched out arm, the peculiar characteristic of the Virgin of the Zodiac, the handmaiden of the Lord. This Venus Adume, or Marine Venus, was the subject of the finest picture of all antiquity. Listen to this, y'all. It was painted by Apelles from the person of his favorite mistress, his favorite whore, his favorite prostitute, Campespe. Y'all remember Campespe? That's a constellation, Campespe, who had been given him by Alexander the Great. It came afterward in the possession of the Roman Emperor Augustus, who had it placed in the temple, which he built to the honor of his predecessor, Julius. Now listen to this, y'all. Listen to this. From the famous picture, or from records of that famous picture, it is admitted that Raphael, Corrigo, and Titian, even down to our own Sir Joshua Reynolds, formed their great works, which have never yet been missing from the altars of our Catholic cathedrals. So they have this stuff in the Catholic cathedral. Listen, here's what I want you to hear. And this face of the harlot, of the whore, of the mistress, Campespe, has supplied the features of the Virgin Mary. In other words, the Virgin Mary's face is the face of a whore, a prostitute, a mistress, the harlot Campespe. Isn't that something how JC's image is Caesar Brochure, who had sex or raped his sister. I don't know what he did. He was a terrible guy. Page 136. So this is the filth. This is the filth of Christianity. I think I came here at the wrong time. This the Clampets. The Clampets are sitting next to me. I gotta end the video, y'all. They're playing loud music. I don't want to get a copyright strike. Assalamu alaikum, Islam to all the Moors. I'll see y'all on the next. Oh, they stopped. The Clampets. All right. And the face of the harlot Campespe has supplied the features or the image of the Virgin Mary. The name Mary signifying mistress of the sea, harlot of the sea, prostitute of the sea, whore, tramp of the sea. So distinctly characterizing the Marine Venus is further identified by the vulgar expressions of it into Poli and Pole. which are common epithets of the sea. Y'all got that? Pollux, the star. The Greek word for pollux, for many, referring to many ways of the sea, and addressed by our English poet, quote unquote, "Hail, thou inexhaustible source of wonder and contemplation. Hail, thou multitudinous sea or ocean." And in the first Iliad of Homer, we have the noble epithet for the sea. He gives it in Greek. Let's continue. That no such person as the goddess Venus, or the goddess Ceres, Ceres, the goddess of corn and harvest, so that would be the goddess Virgo, right? Ever really existed. These goddesses never existed, y'all. Is admitted by everyone, and the presence of their existence is accounted for in a moment by that natural tendency of the mind to allegorize or personify, right? Anthropomorphism. All abstract ideas. As to this day, we personify death and speak of the cold hand of death, the jaws of death, the king of terrors. Everybody but a fool or an idiot, knowing that for all such expressions that we just mentioned, all such expressions as these, no real substantial person or personage was ever meant by death. Y'all see? They just played you. Oh man. I got a flight to catch. My phone is broken. I don't know where I'm going to go get it fixed. How long it'll take to get it fixed. Oh well. All right, y'all. I'm done. I need to try to solve my problems. Oh, we're almost finished. Wow, we're almost finished with Virgo. All right, y'all. Assalamu alaikum, Islam to all the Moors. Shalom. I, self, law, and master.